Hello, this is Robert. I'm a tax attorney here at TRP, and we're going to be going over the differences between enrolled agents, CPAs, and tax attorneys. These are all three licensed tax professionals that can help you with tax relief cases. So, for tax relief issues, these are the three types: enrolled agents, CPAs, and tax attorneys. All three can also do tax preparation. First, we'll go over enrolled agents. EAs are able to represent taxpayers before the IRS for any issues relating to collections, audits, or tax appeals. EAs are authorized to complete tax returns for people, corporations, partnerships, estates, trusts, and anyone else that is required to report to the IRS. How does someone become an EA? They're required to pass an examination, or they must have worked at the IRS for a specified period of time. There's also a background check, but college degrees are not required. What can't EAs do? EAs cannot represent taxpayers in tax court without passing a special, separate exam. The pass rate on that exam is very, very low, and I think I've heard of one EA that has passed it that I know of, but it's not a very common thing at all. There's also no attorney-client privilege unless the EA is working at a law firm. Certified public accountants. A certified public accountant is an expert in accounting. CPAs can also represent you for the IRS in tax relief cases. They are also authorized to do tax returns. How does one become a CPA? A college degree and state licensing exams enable one to become a CPA. Tax relief training is not part of CPA curriculum. That's going to be something they're going to learn on the job. What can't CPAs do? CPAs can't represent taxpayers in tax court, also without passing that special exam. The pass rate on that is the same as the EA exam because it's the same exam. It's very, very low. I've never heard of a CPA that has actually passed that exam. There's also no attorney-client privilege unless that CPA is working at a law firm. Tax attorneys. Tax attorneys focus on tax law issues. Tax relief is its own subcategory of tax law that has its own specific details. A general tax attorney may not be an expert in tax relief. Usually they're not. And a tax relief attorney may not be an expert in tax planning. Usually they're not. How does one become a tax attorney? You got to get a Juris Doctor degree or equivalent and pass the bar in any state or jurisdiction. Tax relief is learned through on-the-job training. So in colleges and universities, they're not really teaching tax relief. They're just teaching general tax law. Someone might get an LLM in tax. They still might know nothing on tax relief. What can tax attorneys do? When it comes to tax relief cases, qualified tax attorneys can handle every aspect of the case, including tax court. At our firm, we have an attorney who's an expert in tax court that just goes to the tax court part. So not even all tax relief attorneys are going to be experts at tax court. I myself am not an expert, but we have one at our firm, Matthew, and he's going to do the tax court to make sure you get an expert result. I'm more an expert on offer and compromise myself. What tax relief pros right for you? First, we strongly recommend avoiding all tax relief companies that are not owned by an EA, CPA, or tax attorney. Basically, all the firms you hear on TV or radio are owned by salespeople or just general business people. If that company fails, since they don't have a license, there's no obligation to complete your case. Company closes and you're done. And we have another video on tax relief companies that explains that process a little better. Second, tax attorneys are often the same price for completed cases as enrolled agents and CPAs, yet can take your case to tax court if needed. Our law firm uses EAs and CPAs for less complex tax, but attorneys for items that need negotiation or legal analysis. Now, this model has I found it to be much cheaper than almost all the other firms that are just enrolled agents or CPAs. Part of that also has to do with we only have attorneys that type fast. So if you have an enrolled agent or CPA that types 30, 40 words a minute, you're going to pay more, most likely because they're completing everything so much slower. Last, make sure you get someone who is an expert in tax relief. General tax knowledge is not what's needed for an effective result. There's a lot of tax preparers out there that have been doing preparation for years, and then all of a sudden, they hear from some software company now is pushing people doing tax relief. Well, they don't know the intricacies of it besides just what the software tells them. So those aren't always the best result, and I've seen cases like that are not always done in the best way. The other thing is if you owe less than $20,000 and already filed all your tax returns, everything's filed and done, you may want to consider just doing it yourself. And we have a comprehensive tax help guide linked below. In that guide, it explains how to do an offer and compromise from start to finish all by yourself. We generally don't do cases. If you have all your returns filed, so you already know what you owe, and the total is less than 20, we're generally not doing cases where people less than 20 because usually it's fairly simple and it's either going to be a pass or a fail, and you can just do our guide and take a look. So are you looking for effective tax relief help? Give us a call at 888-515-4TAX. That's 888-515-4829, or go to trp.tax, or click the contact link below for a free consultation with one of our expert tax attorneys. We'll get you the best results legally possible. We promise you'll leave your consultation knowing more about your options, hire us or not. Thanks for watching. This is Robert with TRP, and have a great week.